Premanandi Hari Hari Bo. Jam Vishnu Pada Paraman Sabri Kachari Yatra Dasi My Divine Grace Yesi Bhaktivedanta Swami Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnavinda Ki Jai Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Principal Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Radha Gadadhara Shiva Sari Gaura Bhaktavinda Ki Jai Ganga Maya Ki Jai Jamuna Maya Ki Jai Vrinda Dhamma Ki Jai Mayapur Dhamma Ki Jai Samaveda Bhaktavinda Ki Jai. All glory to the assembled devotees, all glory to the assembled devotees, all glory to the assembled devotees, all glory to Shri Shri Guru Shri Gauranga Taigo Premanandi Hari Hari Bo. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 8, Question by King Parikshit. Text 10 to 13. I was told to up to 12, but it says 13. So I think text 13 is on the board. I'm going to read 10 to 12, and we will chant together text 13. Text 10, please explain the personality of Godhead who lie in everyone's heart as Supersoul and as the Lord of all energies, but is unattached by his external energy. Purport. Undoubtedly, the form of the Lord, who was seen by Brahmā, must be transcendental. Otherwise, how could he simply look upon the creative energy without being touched? It is understood also the same puruṣa lies in the heart of every living entity. This is also required proper explanation. Text 11. O learned Brahmana, it was formerly explained that all the planets of the universe with their respective governor are situated in different parts of the gigantic body of the Virata Puruṣa. I have also heard that the different planetary systems are supposed to be in the gigantic body of Virata Puruṣa, but what is their actual position? Will you please explain that? Text 12. Also, please explain the duration of time between the creation and annihilation, and that of other subsidiary creation, as well as the nature of time indicated by sound of past, present, and future. Also, please explain the duration of measurement of life of the different living beings, known as the demigod, human being, etc., in different planets of the universe. Purport. Past, present, and future, different features of the time to indicate the duration of life for the universe and all its paraphernalia, including the different living beings as different planets. Text 13. On the board, we can chant together. Karasānugati yatu Lakṣate vibhrityapi Yabhata kamagatayo Yadrisin pijasatamam Karasānugati yatu Lakṣate vibhrityapi Yabhataya kamagataya Yadrisin pijasatamam Karasānugati yatu Lakṣate vibhrityapi Yabhata kamagatayo Yadrisin pijasatamam. Please chant. Mataji? Karasa of eternal time, Anugati, beginning, Yatu, as they are, Lakshate, experience, Ambi, small, Purihati, great, Api, even, Yabata, as long as, Karmagataya, in terms of the work, perform, Yadrisi, as it may, to be Jasatama, or purest of all the Brahmanas. Translation. O purest of the Brahmanas, please also explain the course of different duration of time, both short and long, as well as the beginning of time, following the course of action. Om Jnana-timirandasya Jnana-jnana Sharakaya Chakshum Militanyena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Lord Brahma was instructed by Krishna, and Narada Muni heard from Lord Brahma. And now Parikshit Maharaj is asking to Shukadeva Goswami to narrate what Narada Muni has spoken. Because the disciple succession is perfect, whatever Krishna has spoken to Brahma was perfectly heard by Brahma, and Brahma perfectly repeated to Narada. And Narada Muni was told by Lord Brahma to expand the glory of the Lord according to your realization. So through the disciple succession, the science was handed down to Shukadeva Goswami, Vyasadeva's son. So now Parikshit Maharaj is eager to hear from Shukadeva Goswami. So in this chapter, the entitled question by King Parikshit, he asks so many questions. Start from the living entities, natures, and creation, then different occupations, so many different questions. And at the end, he asks, please answer all these questions as well as the question I did not answer. So Shukadeva Goswami, as a spiritual master, he is not obligated to answer everything what the disciple asks, but the disciple is very sincere. He is going to answer all the questions and plus whatever he did not answer, he did not ask. So today's purport, text start from yesterday or the day before yesterday is about creation. So yesterday's class, Devakinanda Prabhu, he gave very nice summary of today's this chapter up to now, from text 1 to text 8. So I'm going to skip that part and I'm going to continue from the text 10. I'm going to read again. Yesterday's one was Brahma, who was not born of material source, but of the lotus flower coming out of navel abode of the Lord, is the creator of all those who are materially born. Of course, by the grace of the Lord, Brahma was able to see the form of the Lord. That was in the beginning of creation. Lord Brahma was born from the lotus of Garudakshaya Vishnu, and he started to create which was already created by Lord Puruṣa. So now today's text, he is asking basically three questions. The Lord who created Brahma, he also manifests himself as a Supersoul. How is that? He is not touched by the external energy. In other words, he is asking the relationship between the Lord and material nature. And the second one, he's asking about Virata Rupa, universal form. And the third part, he's asking about time. So time, I'm going to divide today's class into three, about 10 minutes each. I'm going to discuss about how the Lord is aloof from material nature instead of directly contact with material nature in the creation. And second, we will discuss about Virata Rupa. Then third, we will discuss about time. So why we discuss about the universal form and time and creation? Especially in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9. Chapter 9 is considered to be most confidential knowledge. That means knowledge, very, very nice knowledge means matter and spirit. We are not the body. That is discussed in the second chapter. Then after we are going to discuss about different topic, and then most confidential topic discussed in chapter 9, which is pure devotional service to the Supreme Personality of God, especially in the form of Krishna. But then suddenly, in the most confidential topic of chapter 9, Krishna started talking about creation. Start from text 4 up to text 10. He talked about 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 7 texts in Bhagavad Gita chapter 9. So why creation is so important? The answer is because we don't know God. And we heard God is praying with cowherd boys and cowherd girls in Vrindavan, but we can't perceive. So if we are going to understand God, we have to start from the stage where we can relate it to. So once we can understand how God is great in the way we can perceive, that is matter of creation, then we can understand how God is great, then we can appreciate more. Unless we know somebody, how we can develop love. Suppose so many devotees here, if we don't know each other, it's very difficult to develop. But if we come to know, oh, how are you doing, what's your name, what is your service, what you like, what you don't like, then start to know each other. Then naturally, development of love and loving relationship will develop. So Krishna is so kind. You don't understand, I pray with cowherd boys, so I will talk about creation. Therefore, the matter of creation is situated right in the middle of Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9. So here is creation. Srimad Bhagavatam also, many, many chapters and so many shlokas are related to creation. Why so much about creation? Because unless we understand how God is great, we are not be able to develop pure love for Krishna, because this creation, matter of creation, is specifically for the development of dasa. Dasa means servitorship, servitorship. So servitorship may appear, it's not pure devotion, but actually it is a pure devotional service. And unless one have dasa relationship, we cannot develop to another rasa. After dasa is sakya, then is sakya after parent, Vatsarya, then Madhurya. Unless we are strongly established with dasa, then we are not be able to have healthy development to all these above the rasa. And all other higher rasa, they all including dasa. So to enliven this dasa relationship, Krishna is talking about, and this different acharyas is talking about the creation. So now we are going to start today's text 10. Please also explain the personality of Godhead, who lies in everyone's heart as a Supersoul, as the Lord of all energy, but is unattached by his external energy. So then we're talking about Bhagavad Gita 9 chapter. Start from text 4. I'm sure you're familiar with Bhagavad Gita. Maya tatani idam sarvam jagata vyaktamurtina mastani sarva-bhutani najahanteshva abhasitam. By me, in my unmanifested form, this entire universe is pervaded. All beings are in me, but I am not in them. Start from this verse. Krishna is talking about, I am in the universe. I enter into the universe, but the universe is not in me. I am not in them. So many statements that he makes completely opposite. So Krishna, the sort of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and Baladev Vidyabhushan make the comment around this. They explain Krishna, Arjuna is speaking, Krishna, so you are carrying the universe, you created the universe, you're holding, isn't so heavy? Is it too tiring for you? But Krishna, you said that you enter into the universe. But then after you said you are not in them. Are you contradicting? I don't understand. You said the universe are in you, you are in the universe, but you are not in the universe. You're speaking correct, or I heard okay, or something contradiction, or something I didn't understand. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and Baladev Vidyabhushan both they made a commentary in a composition form. So when I did Bhakti Shastri for Japanese, I explained about all this. Most of them, I really like this topic, but I didn't understand, but it's okay, like that. So I noticed the matter of creation, some of the devotees really like the topic of creation, and some of the devotees don't like at all. I don't see many devotees in between. So I want to ask you, among you, those who really like about the matter of creation, the topic of creation, could you put the hand? Good, thank you. And those who really don't want to hear anything about the creation, can you put the hand? Thank you, I'm sorry about that. So today is creation. Maybe you can take a break or you can spend some time, 40 minutes. I hope at the end of the class you will like the creation topic. So the creation, I like creation. I was doing Bhakti Vedanta. In the Bhakti Vedanta, at the end of Bhakti Vedanta course, we can choose one topic, any topic from Srimad Bhagavatam. And many devotees were picking relationship, loving relationship with Krishna, or something like so sweet. Why Krishna is not equal to everyone? No, Krishna is equal to everyone, something like that. Very sweet topic. I picked creation. So creation is my favorite topic. So I was thinking, I have only 40 minutes. How I can talk about creation in 40 minutes? So I can talk so much, or I can talk only little. I don't talk about anything. I was thinking, I don't talk anything. Like maybe I can start from any question. But anyway, I'm going to speak a little bit, and I will keep the time for question and answer. So Krishna said, I enter. That means I enter into the universe, but I didn't enter. That could be many different meanings. One meaning is I enter, but I didn't enter. Means Krishna, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, originally Krishna didn't enter into the material nature, because Krishna is Goloka Vrindavan. He entered as his puruṣa avatar. So indirectly enter, but not directly enter. Another explanation is he entered but didn't enter. It means he entered and he's sustaining, but he is not attached. He is not attached, so he is not bound. Therefore, he is entered, but he is not entered. So another reason is he entered, but because he is not attached, he is not entangled. Therefore, he entered, but he is not entered. The another explanation is he made a creation, but it's not his desire. He didn't need it. He has Goloka Vrindavan, so many nice planets, even Vaikuntha, millions, unlimited Vaikuntha. Why need another one which is so imperfect? So it's not for him, but then he created for the living entity who are against Krishna. So it's not for him, so he entered, but then he is not really interested. Like you are not interested in creation. You are here, you enter the classroom, but your mind may be somewhere else, something like that. So Krishna is going to look up Vrindavan, he created, but then it's not going on, someone else is doing, never mind, something like that. That is another understanding. So different explanation and different analogies given in the purport. Prabhupada gave many analogies. First one is I enter and not enter. Okay, the government. There is the government and the king is there. And there is so many government official ministers and different government people there. So the king is in one place. Nice throne or nice palace. Sometimes he goes here and there, but then he doesn't deal with each single who paid the tax, who made a criminal act, who did this, what state, what's happening here. He doesn't go every single place. He doesn't go deal directly. But then because of king is there, all the government official thing is happening. If the king is not there, those officers and the governor, they don't have power to do all this king's governmental work. So the Krishna doesn't enter directly, but the Krishna enters as his energy and also his avatars. That is the first example. And then another example, he is not affected. That example was given by the Supreme Court judge. Supreme Court judge, under his judgment, so many things is happening. Some criminal being punished, maybe hung, maybe taking away the money, and according to the law of the government, Supreme Judge may give the sentence someone gets so much money out of. So by this, the criminal and the person who come to the court, they may get affected according to their karma, according to their deed. But the Supreme Court judge, he is not affected. Supreme Court judge, he gives the sentence, but then he doesn't get hung. He doesn't have to pay. He doesn't receive the money. Of course, he gets salary, but then that is a different Krishna and the Supreme Court judge. But then he is not affected by the judgment. Its judgment is directly done according to the law of the government. So same way the creation was done by the law of nature, Krishna doesn't have to exactly do it, and he doesn't get affected. The living entity are affected, but that is their own deed is being reflected by the law of the nature. The next one, Udasinabat. That's the key word, Udasinabat. It's coming in the Bhagavad Gita. That means as if neutral. What does it mean, as if neutral? He is neutral. He said that I'm not affected. I am neutral. I'm neutral. I'm not affected. But Udasinabat means exactly as if he is neutral. That means he is neutral, but it is, if you say more specific, as if, means because he glanced at the Prakriti in the beginning. So there is action from the hand of Krishna, from the side of Krishna. If Krishna didn't glance, Krishna means Mahavishnu, but Mahavishnu didn't glance the Prakriti, material nature, then nothing was happening. So from his side, one action he glanced was there. Therefore, cannot say completely neutral. There was some action was there. Therefore, it's as if neutral. That word Udasinabat was used. Then how the universe is situated within the Lord, but not within the Lord, how he is aloof. That example was given by Prabhupada. But, the example is wind and the space. So the space, the wind is blowing. Now also I can see a little bit wind is blowing, but they remain within the space. The space is the biggest entities. And the wind is blowing, but then it doesn't go out of the space. So the creation is happening, but it doesn't go out of the Lord's energy. So it stays. That is the example. And then how that can explain the relationship with Krishna and the material nature is not just one. One reason is the wind doesn't go out of the space. That means material nature doesn't go out of the Krishna. That is one. Another one is, by nature, the space has a nature of not be affected, and wind has a nature of chanchala, moving here and there. So the living entities within the universe and material creation, their nature is always changing, moving here and there. That's therefore compared to the wind. And the Lord is not affected. That's why compared to the space. So the living entities and the material nature within the universe are moving, and so many changes going on, but it's not affecting the space, and space doesn't become a wind. That means the Lord doesn't become the material nature. Therefore, this example is giving how the Lord is related to the material nature. So this is 10 minutes. So this is the first part, how the Lord is neutral and not affected. But at the same time, He is the cause of most important thing I almost forgot. Māyā-īśaḥ prakriti suyate sa charanchara hetu nārena kanteya jagat piparivartate. Under my direction, Māyā-īśaḥ, dakshena means I'm looking, I'm overseeing. Māyā-īśaḥ prakriti, Māyā-īśaḥ prakriti, that means material nature, prakriti means material nature. My supervision, this material energy, Māyā-īśaḥ prakriti, prakriti is moving. Suyate sa charanchara, moving and unmoving. Within the universe, some living entities are moving, like we are moving. Some entity doesn't move, like plants and mountains and trees. They don't move. So suyate charanchara, moving entity and unmoving being. They are created again and again. Hetu nārena kanteya. So all the entities were created because my supervision, the material universe is not created because of material nature, not because of material nature, but because of me, Māyā-īśaḥ prakriti. So that is the most important point. So the scientists, or in general people, they think, many people think the universe is eternal, and if not eternal, there must be creator, and the creator could not be God, but Srimad Bhagavatam said the universe is created and created by God. So when we talk with the people, we have TOBP coming up, we need to know how to deal with, how to explain to those people how the universe is created and how it is affected. It's affected us, but it's not affected the Lord. So I can go on, but I'm going to go to the next one. The next one is about Virata Rupa. Parikshit Maharaj asked, text 11, O learned Brahmana, it is formally explained that planets of the universe with their respective governor are situated in different parts of the gigantic body of the Virata Purusha. I have also heard that the different planetary systems are supported in the gigantic body of Virata Purusha. But what is their actual position? Will you please explain that? So Virata Rupa, generally we know the Virata Rupa is imaginary form, it doesn't exist. And in Bhagavad Gita, sometimes it's that it's transcendental, but it is material, or we don't understand it's actually transcendental. Yes, transcendental, because it is related to the Lord, but it's manifested in the material form, and also it's imaginary. So in Bhagavatam, it's differently explained more in detail. We are now chapter 8. The next chapter, of course, whatever Parikshit Maharaj is asking, we are going to hear the answer. Next 2 chapters, including famous Chaturi Shloka of Srimad Bhagavatam, and so many exciting topics coming up. And then also more detail will be explained by conversation of Vidula and Maitreya, and also, what's the name of Kapila Muni speaking to Devahuti. One may think that Mataji is not intelligent enough to understand this universe and Sankhya philosophy, but Devahuti is a lady, and Kapila Muni is speaking to Devahuti, most intricate science of Sankhya. So also, Mahabharata, Bhagavad Gita itself is supposed to be for women, so for us. And of course, you can also read, no harm that you read it, but then it is for us. Anyway, we're going to Virata Rupa. So Virata Rupa, why Virata Rupa's description is here and why Parikshit Maharaj is asking Virata Rupa, it's imaginary why it has to be there. Different reason. One reason is because by explaining the universe, creation of the universe, with the description of Virata-rupa, there will be no misconception. The material nature alone creates the universe. The Supreme Lord as in the Virata-rupa form has to be invoked. Lord has to be invoked, otherwise creation did not take place. So there should not be any mistakes. Material nature alone created the universe. Therefore, Virata-rupa is there. Then another one is many different reasons. Another reason is, first, the Virata-rupa is there, and the Virata-rupa means total living entities. We are living entity, but total living entity is Virata-rupa. So when Virata-rupa feel hungry, I want to eat, and the Virata-rupa open the mouth. Then only because Virata-rupa open the mouth, then there will be the creation of the palate, and the tongues are created. That's why we have mouth and we have a tongue. Then because Virata-rupa thought that I want to eat, I want to taste, so there was a creation of a taste, and there was creation of food, and a creation of sense, and then creation of the waters, and there is a demigod who controls the tongue. So in the creation, there is a Lord and the living entities Adi, Adi-atma. And the Adi Daivika is presiding deity, like supposed to waters and sun and all that, predominant deity, demigod, Adi Daivika. And the Adi Bodhika, that is material nature. These three have to be always there, and they are all interdependent. And apart from that, the Supreme Lord, independent entity is there. So in the Virata-rupa, then he wanted to eat, and all the food created. Then he wanted to smell. Then the nose was manifested, and then smell was manifested, and the air was produced, and the presiding deity of the air was developed. And then he wanted to see. Then first he wanted to see himself. He wanted to see himself. Therefore, we can also see. We may not want to see something else. We want to see ourselves, we want to see something else. But because the Lord wanted to see himself, therefore there was the power of seeing for us, and an object of seeing, and then presiding deity of the sight, and the sun. Without sun, universe is tamasi, so dark, you cannot see anything. We cannot even see our own hand in the darkness. Just because the Lord desired to see himself, so we have all this facility. So Virata-rupa description is able to understand that we are so grateful to the Lord, because the Lord wanted to just, of course, he didn't need those, but for our benefit, he desired to eat, he desired to see. Therefore, we are be able to do. We are so grateful to the Lord, and we are so dependent on the Lord, and he doesn't even need it. So we have more deeper appreciation by studying the Virata-rupa. Then after he desired to walk, so the leg developed, and he desired to do something, and the hand developed, and then he desired to hear, then he desired to hear, then hearing abilities, and an object, and sound, and all these elements created. All the thing was created because Virata-rupa was present. It may imaginary so our understanding, but it has to be there so that we can appreciate how without the Lord nothing functions. So, Bhagavatam sometimes said Virata-rupa is for the less intelligent who cannot perceive the spirit. That is for everyone actually, because we can't see the spirit. We don't have eyes to see the spirit. If I see the spirit and I don't see it, it's natural. So we can see something, then we can understand. So Krishna is so kind. He gave that form, Virata-rupa, so that we can get some idea. Okay, another 10 minutes is passed. So next 10 minutes we're going to spend. Next question. Text 12 and 13. Also, please explain the duration of time between the creation and annihilation, other subsidiary creation, as well as the nature of time, indicate the sound of past, present, and future. Also, please explain the duration and measurement of life of different living entity, known as the demigod, the human being, etc., different planets of the universe. O purest of the Brahmana, please also explain the cause of different duration of time, both short and long, as well as the beginning of time, following the course of action. So the time. In this chapter, time is explained very briefly, and then Parikshit Maharaj wanted to know about the duration of time and how to measure the time. So Shukadeva Goswami said, I will explain briefly here, but I'm going to explain later, which comes in 5th canto. It's a measurement of the time. It's so complicated. The whole chapter is so many numbers, and I didn't understand anything. But the time is measured by the speed, how the sound travels. There is an atom. There is so many atoms, so small. With the number of the atom, how the sound travels from here to here. Suppose how many atoms in between. That how much time it takes when the sound travels from here. That's how the time was measured. Suppose when I was small, we are in a mountain with family and my cousin, and so there was, in the summer, there was thunder. When the thunder, the lightning comes and the sound comes. So it was storm. You have seen in Mayapur also we see. So when the rain cloud comes, then lightning hit, then after some time you can hear the sound. Yeah? That means the light travels faster than sound, because the lightning comes first, then after some time the sound comes. So that's how the measurement of the time is measured by the sound. So suppose we hear the sound and the light same time, that means we know the thunder is very near. We may have to turn off the internet, otherwise the internet machine will break. Computer for sure turn off, otherwise it will be useless, something like that. But if the lightning hit, but the sound is a little bit later, then maybe the sound is actually far away. We can understand something like that. I'm sorry, is that falling for you? Yeah. Sorry, it was like that. So the traveling with sound. So he's asking about the sound. So he's asking how we can time affect. So Bhagavad Gita again, 8th chapter, 17 text. How many years of Kali Yuga? 425,000 years of Kali Yuga, and double of that is 848,000 years is next one, Kali Yuga. Before Kali Yuga is Dvapara Yuga, yeah? And the one before is Treta Yuga. So Treta Yuga is 3 times Kali Yuga, is about 1,200,000 years or something like that. And then after that, Satya Yuga. Satya Yuga is 4 times of Kali Yuga, is 1,009,000, something like that. And then all together, all 4 Yuga all together is called Divya Yuga. Is 10 times more than Kali Yuga, 1 Kali Yuga. That means 4,320,000 years. That is 1 Divya Yuga. That means 1 Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, 1 Treta Yuga, 1 Satya Yuga, Dvapara Yuga, Satya Yuga. I'm so bad that I learned when I was new bhakta, I still cannot say properly. So just 4 Yuga, Satya, Treta, Dvapara, and Kali. All this together is 4,320,000 years, and it is called Divya Yuga. And this is repeated for 1,000 times is Sahasra Yuga Sapatan. That is 1 day of Lord Brahma, 1 day of Lord Brahma. That is called Kalpa. Okay, I got it. We did this when we are new bhakta, I think. And then that is 1 Kalpa. And Vikalpa. Vikalpa means kalpa is one day of Brahma, yeah? And before we go to Vikalpa, one kalpa is one day of Brahma, and Brahma has 1 day and 1 night. I don't know how they count separately, but he has 1 day and 1 night, 12 hours, 12 hours. And with that count, he has 30 days. We have sometimes 31 days, but Brahma doesn't have 31. He has always 30 days, and he has 12 years, and he has 100 years. That duration altogether is 311 trillion, 40 billion years of human calculation. That is the Lord Brahma's duration. That is called Vikalpa. 1 life of Brahma, of course, day and night, so it's calculated. And 1 day of Brahma is Kalpa, and 1 life of Brahma is Vikalpa. And Mahakalpa is Lord Mahavishnu's breathing out. That is called Mahakalpa. That's how the time is counted. Okay? Easy to understand? Yeah, something like that. What else? Oh, okay, so the demigod, Balakrishna Maharaj is asking how the time affects for different beings. So for us, 100 years, how we feel 100 years. But Prabhupada sometimes he said, small insect, for them they are living whole life. For them they feel that is 100 years. And for Brahma, 100 years, 311 trillion years, that is 1 life. And then similarly, in different grades, living entity, the insect there, human there, demigod there. So what about demigod duration? So demigod duration is 6 months is demigod's half, 6 months is demigod's day. That means demigod also has day and night. Easy to say our 306 days, 1 day of Brahma, one day of demigod. That is easy for me to understand. But the 360 days for us is 1 day of the demigod. In that way, the demigod and the svarga-loga, they are being counted. And so the human there, Bhumandala there, then after svarga-loga is counted like that. And then Lord Brahma's count is like that. So in between there is so many another planetary systems, Tapaloka, Janaloka, Mahaloka there. So they are relatively differently calculated, something like that. Yeah? Okay. So 10 minutes is passed. So 10 minutes each for each topic. It's a very small introduction because we are going to study more later on different chapters. And then we are just, sometimes like we have a movie, then we give like a few minutes thingy. So I'm just giving the introduction. So any question or comment? Yes, please. No problem.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji, for the class. In Kali Yuga, the people are very, they're less intelligent. So in Bhagavatam, these sections which explain the creation and the material elements, it seems very technical. So how to develop interest in while reading this section?
Thank you very much. That's a very nice question. Most of the people are not interested, but I'm sure everybody in this room, in one point in your life, you look at the sky, so many stars, compared to so many stars, I'm so insignificant what I'm doing there. How many stars there, how I can go there. You have ever wondered in your life at least one time? Yes? Yes, I did. So interest there, maybe not interesting, but I think something is there in everybody. I think it's not denied. And then if you go to school, also in the school, they learn in the school, there are the stars. And I did learn in the school when I was school. Sun travel from here, and then the Earth is moving like that, same time rotated. And this is Earth is there, Mars is there, Jupiter is there. All this we learn in the text. We have to pass an exam and stuff. So there is some interest there. Then the scientists say, actually you are just a dust. Just by mistake you are created. But you will be just a dust, nothing will be left after you die. No lost, you die, no problem. Then they feel like, why I'm living here, why I even exist, and so broken-hearted. So some devotee went to the interview to the university. They said, so you just heard from a professor, whatever, you are dust, you don't exist after you, how you feel? And they said, we feel sad. The professor said it's in the text we have to write on exam, but then we actually feel sad to think that we are just a dust. We came by accident, we feel very sad. So that is there in everyone's, most of the people who, even we are in Kali Yuga, it's a feeling is there. So we have to present to those who are feeling not maybe so, because people are so overwhelmed with daily life, maybe they are not going to sit to study Bhagavatam, but then we have to appeal to that person who has that feeling of sadness, maybe something more to, maybe we are not the accident. Like sometimes we hear that even the devotees, my parents said I'm born by accident. They feel so sad. And then one of my god sisters was told the parents, we didn't plan to have you as a child. By accident you were born. And she was feeling so sad. And she told the spiritual master, His Holiness Jayapataka Maharaj, I'm feeling very sad. And then my Guru Maharaj, Jayapataka Maharaj, told her, you are not my accident. You are my daughter. And she felt so touched. So we have that feeling. We don't want to think we are born accident. We are part and parcel with the Lord. We are being lovingly cared by the Lord. The Lord loved us unconditionally. So that feeling is there. So we have to approach in the way they may interest. And of course, we have TOBP. TOBP is scientific presentation, so that the people who may not be interested in scientific thing, and they may not be intellectually inclined, but something, they see something like a Disneyland, they see something, or like a museum, something moving, they go, wow, so great. And if we see gigantic fish of Sushma hanging from chandelier, wow, what is that big fish? Something like that. So we are creating something, appeal to the people. They try to escape, we have so many fish nets to catch. Is that okay? Thank you. Is there any others? Yes.
Thank you so much for your lecture. I want to ask, it is said that every living entities in this universe start with Lord Brahma or small ant, lives 100 years. And also we heard that in heavenly planet, demigods, they live 10,000 years. And Srila Prabhupada also said that, for example, in Kali Yuga, we live 100 years. In Dvapara Yuga, people live 1,000 years. And Treta Yuga, 10,000 years. So how to understand this?
Okay, very nice. So you said you are not interested in the creation, but you asked very technical, highly elevated question. So when I said 100 years, means they feel full duration of life, not exactly 100, the numbers. Of course, in Kali Yuga, 100, not so many people live 100 years, but the feeling of fullness, that is, I said 100 years. So of course another yuga 100, not 100,000, 10,000, something like that. It's relatively changed. It's just the feeling of fullness. That is 100 I describe. Thank you. Any others?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Dandavat Pranam, very nicely. Two questions I have. One is how when the light comes first, then the sounds comes later. So when it comes together, how it how's the effect? Like, sometimes it hurts, sometimes something burns.
Okay, thank you. So
Acting, yeah.
actually, the sound comes before the light, but then I forgot to say about sound, so I added it after. Thank you for the correction. So it comes to chapter 10. I will just read. It comes after a few weeks, but then I will just read it. From the sky seated within the transcendental body of manifesting Mahavishnu, sense energy, mental force, and bodily strength are all generated as well as the sum total of the fountain fed of total living force. So first comes when he desired to drink and eat, the mouth open. From the mouth, the tongue generated, and different tastes came into existence, and the tongue can relish them. When the Supreme Lord desired to speak, speech was vibrated from the mouth. Then the controlling deity, fire, was generated from the mouth. When he was lying in the water, all these functions remained suspended. Thereafter, when the Supreme Puruṣa desired to smell, the nostril respiration was generated, and nostril instrument and smell came into existence, and the controlling deity of air, carrying smell, also became manifested. When everything exists in darkness, the Lord desired to see himself and all that was created. Then the eyes, the illumination, the sun, the power of vision, the object of sight, all became manifested. By development of desire of the great sage, okay, this comes after actually what I said was correct. The sight was there, and the next text, by the development of desire of great sage to know, the ear, the power of hearing, the controlling deity of hearing, and the object of hearing became manifested. The great sage desired to hear about the self. Then after leg and heart created. So I also thought that this order is a little bit different from the 24 element creation, because 24 element creation is the Lord look at the pradana. Pradana has no three-modal material nature, but by the glance of the Lord, pradana got agitated, then become Mahatattva, which includes the three-modal material nature. And within the three-modal material nature, all the elements are created, start from the sound. So I was also thinking this is different from exactly what you thought, so I cannot answer because I also had the same question. So I think a different time differently explains. So
thank you.
That's what
so
I can say.
in the light and sound, so the light comes once. In the bhakti, like there are Navadhava bhakti is there, Sravanam, Kirtanam. So here how can relate and improve our bhakti also?
That's the point that I was thinking I should not forget to say, but then I completely forgot. When I talk about creation, I'm completely observing creation. I forgot to relate it to bhakti, but that is the most important point. Okay, we talk about creation, but the most important point is we develop love for Krishna by hearing about creation. So we have to come to the point of bhakti. So thank you very much for reminding me. So light of the bhakti. I'm very weak at topic on bhakti. I can be technical, but bhakti, I'm coming from very, I'm the daughter of Buddhist monk, so I'm very much impersonal background. So bhakti, I have weakness, but whatever I learn, I'm trying to say. So bhakti, light of the bhakti. What I can say is, light of the bhakti we cannot get from the scriptures. I like studying, but then I don't get it. I can only get from the person who have love like you and you, Premanjana Prabhu, and Prabhu, you have bhakti. Then by being with you present, I may be able to develop taste for developing love. And also, the light of bhakti is within everybody. We are shining living entity. We are shining. We are not the material world is tamas, darkness, but the living entity is naturally shining. So light of Bhakti, light of Bhagavatam, we have the book Light of Bhagavatam. So we are naturally shining. So it's there, but we are covered. So by your association, I may try to develop, and the light is there. So the light has to be there to develop, but it's coming from the association devotee who has Bhakti.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Dandavad Pranam.
So it's 9 o'clock, and I was told that I have to finish by 9 o'clock. I'm going to finish, and if you have questions, you can tell, and you can tell, oh, Mataji finished the class by 9 o'clock. Otherwise, I get in trouble. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanandi, Hari Hari Bol. Okay. You wanted to ask a question? Yes.
Like in description which you gave, their time is not mentioned. It's just that the activity was there, that the Lord desired to see and then light was created. The timeline is not there.
That is Virata Rupa.
Yeah, Virat Rupa wanted to see and then the light came.
Yeah.
So their time is not described. I think time...
No, that's a different topic.
Yes, it's just how the activity is being done. So their time is not explained, which is being first, which came second.
No, I have 3 discussions. First is living entities and material nature's relationship, that's the first. And second is the Virata Rupa, that's what you said. And time, discussion of time, a third topic, so that's a separate topic. Thank you for clarification. Haribol.